Good morning. It is too early on Monday morning. Andrew's just left for work. It's 5:20. I'm going to get up, but I couldn't resist. Look at these two. So cuddly and snuggly. I've got to go back to work today. Yeah, we have. Oh. Right. Time to get dressed. Good morning. It is 6:10 on Monday morning. Yes, we were up. I was awake before Andrew, and then I couldn't get back to sleep. So once he'd got ready for work, I thought I'm going to get up. So I've brought the dogs in the car to the field that I've shown you before in a nearby village. I just thought we'd come somewhere different, but I do have to be out and about, somewhere different for a morning walk. I do have to be back at home for 8 o'clock, so I needed to be out and about early. We're having new broadband fitted this morning, so yeah, height of excitement as always. But yeah, it's quite a misty morning, so let me turn you around and show you where I am. There we go. You might remember this field when I said they were building houses on it. I'll be able to show you properly. Anyway, it's 14 degrees, so it's okay just with an open coat on. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to do something a bit different and come out. Right, time to get on with this walk. Trying to decide what I want for breakfast, but as usual I can't decide. But I'm sure we'll get there. Sun's coming out. I think it's supposed to be a wet week. Come on, let's go down here then. Oh, right. Have a good Monday at work, everyone. So yes, it is 7:50. I'm back in time in case the workman comes at 8 o'clock. So I've got my breakfast. Hopefully I can eat this before there's a knock on the door. But I've got an Arla protein blueberry. I've calorie counted for the whole pot, but there's just a bit left inside for a pudding after lunch or tea. And then I've got strawberries, raspberries and blueberries, 20 grams of protein granola chocolate, and 12 grams of pure honey. What I like about calorie counting is there's no cheating. So say a Slimming World sin was 1 sin for 10 grams or whatever. You'd weigh out 12 grams and you'd still say, well, that's 1 sin. Whereas I can calorie count for 12 grams and not feel like I'm cheating, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. And that's just a very small example. But that, with my coffee, is 340 calories. Right, it is 1:55. I am having lunch. I've just had a peppermint tea this morning, and then I know you didn't see my meals yesterday because I just uploaded the recipe, but today I'm having the other half of a Slimming World beef lasagna which I started yesterday. Doesn't look very appetising, but it does taste nice. I've got some tomato ketchup stirred into that, which is counted for. And some little gem lettuce with a bit of onion and some of the Aldi house salad. And a nectarine and some red grapes with an orange tango. And I think, I'll probably have to confirm this later, but I think it's about 350 calories. If that's way out, I'll come back on straight away. But yeah, that's my lunch today at 5 to 1. So it's 3:05. I'm just having a quick break to make a drink from work. I've got a smaller coffee than I usually have. I do find if I have a large coffee in the afternoon, I get a bit more reflux. So I have to watch the amount of liquid. And I'm having my last packet of salted chocolate trail mix. It's just what I fancy today. Typical that I quite fancy a banana, but because I've not eaten them for 2 weeks, I've told Andrew to stop getting them. So we don't have any bananas, but never mind. I have this and this is what I fancy. So that's what I'm having. Back to work. Hello, it is about 5:15 and the weather says it's 20 degrees. It's been showering, quite heavy, but at the moment it's just little drips. But I have come to Bretton Woods again. One, because there's something here I need for my game. 2, it's a bit sheltered, so if it does rain, you don't get as wet. And 3, because sometimes you get fed up of trying to think of places to go, so you come back again and again to the familiar places when you don't have space to think about these things. Anyway, got a couple of things to catch you up on, or that I have forgotten to say. Come on, Charlie! Can you see him? Good boy. I've had a bit more reflux, I would say, this weekend. Now, I thought it might be the fact that I'd had some cheese, because it was a Saturday, I think, that I had cheese on toast about 8 o'clock at night, which is probably never a good idea. Whatever way you're eating. But then I was also really behind on my water. Sorry, he's been a slow coach today. Hang on, I'll come back. Charlie! He's here. He caught me up when I unzipped the bum bag. So, that's got their treats in. So yeah, I was behind on my water. So I decided to take my 3rd bottle to bed. And it seemed to go down a bit funny. And then, yeah, I woke up with a bit of reflux. And then I had 30 grams of cheese again as a snack on Sunday. But I also had like a big coffee. So I don't necessarily think it's the cheese. Well, I thought it was the cheese. But I've spoken to my friend and she says, don't forget you only had your new injection Friday night. So your side effects are stronger on the first few days. And it is just a side effect. It's not necessarily exactly what you're eating. and also what time you're eating. So yeah, eating late at night, maybe not the best idea. And also I've got to keep an eye on the volume of drinks, because I think when I was on Slimming World, I used to drink big drinks to fill me up. So my big coffees and lots of tonic water and things like that. And I don't always think it agrees with me. I don't mean what's in it, I just mean the volume. Come on. Because that also takes up room in your stomach, doesn't it? And then when I was filming my update, there was one or two things I forgot to say. I've sort of half mentioned it before on the vlogs, but it's about my appetite and portion sizes. So first of all, my appetite, I think if I didn't live with Andrew and he didn't make evening meals, and if I didn't somewhat plan what I'm going to eat the next day, I think I would probably eat less, or I would eat more bitty things like toast and crackers. But because he's still regularly making an evening meal, I'm having a much smaller portion, but I'm eating something. And because I'm planning somewhat what kind of thing I'm going to have for lunch, that kind of, right, this is what I'm having, so I'm going to have it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I still don't really fancy, like, I've got some packets of microwave rice and some pasta and sauces and couscous, and at the moment I just don't really fancy them. It's like I think they'll be too filling. But I wonder if somebody actually made it for me, whether I would eat some of it. But anyway, nobody's going to make it for me, so I'm going to have to use them up myself. And about portion sizes, I still have to have willpower in portioning up. I have to have willpower or use my knowledge that I've gained to portion my meals before I sit and eat them, because I still don't think that I have the off switch while I'm eating. So I'm really glad that I had those, like, I'm going to call it 4 days. 2 days before I started Mounjaro, and then the Saturday and Sunday before the effects really started kicking in. My calories were higher. I'm glad that I still served myself up the same portions, because it then gave me an idea of what I could eat. So now I'm eating the meals, but I'm plating up to what I think my new appetite will be. So I think there's an element of willpower and knowledge there, in that I'm not just thinking, I'll pile chips or even salad. I'm not talking about good or bad food. I certainly can't eat as much of the salad and fruit and things as I would have on Slimming World, because I've got to prioritise the protein. And that's one of the reasons they are free and speed foods on Slimming World, because they're more filling but they're very low calorie. So they do their job when you're following Slimming World, but when you're following Mounjaro, you either need little and often, or you need, starting to rain heavier now, or you need what was I going to say? Protein first, I think. So, something along those lines. Tell me if that all makes sense. But I feel like I'm still having to make the decision of how much to plate up, rather than relying on myself to leave some if I'm full. I very rarely now have to come back and say I haven't been able to manage this, but I'm still well under 2,000 calories, so I can't be doing so bad, can I? And like I say, the snacks, yes, I've had a snack this afternoon, but I've had my nut snack, and I'm still going towards the healthier snacks. It's much more reduced. I very rarely, I mean, yeah, I could eat more protein, but I very rarely want like a second protein yogurt in the day if I've had one for breakfast. I mean, every day when I was doing Slimming World and not on plan, of course I'd have a cake or something, you know, or something from the reduced section for my afters. But if I'm on Slimming World, after lunch I'd always have fruit, and after dinner I'd always have some kind of yogurt, usually Greek yogurt with chocolate powder stirred in and fruit. And I'm hardly having that at all now, because my main meal is filling me up. We are going to get soaked now, it's really raining. Right, that's the two things I wanted to say. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you around for a bit. You can look at the scenery while I tell you the boring story about my car. Right, so umbrella's up. So if you can hear the rain, it's on the umbrella. Maybe you can hear it on the outside as well. Charlie's more used to the rain than Peggy is, but we still have to walk even in the rain, although we try not to come when it's absolutely pouring it down. But it's not so bad in here in the trees. You won't be able to see. I don't think you can see it on screen, but it's raining much heavier in that clearing than it is in the woods. Anyway, so about 2 months ago, what are we now, July? Yeah, I had a little bump in my car. You might remember I posted about it. It was the week after the 20th of May, the Tuesday after the 20th of May, because I was going to Slimming World, and 20th of May is the last time that's in my book. So, I do think, thinking back on it, I never went back to Slimming World, and I had this car accident, and I think I was using it as an excuse, and it was a little trigger, just as a shock. It was only a little bump. A axle or something came loose in the wheel, and therefore, sorry, I sort of veered off and bumped into like the brick fence post of somebody's garden. So it was like a solid wall, and it sheared this loose axle and another part. Obviously scratched all my it was a driver's side tyre, and the driver's side, and the wheel was like come off. It couldn't be just replaced with a spare tyre. I had to be not rescued. What do they call it? You know, when the man comes out with his truck and puts your car on the back. That anyway. Hopeless with words. And I had to wait ages as well. I'm going to call it rescue because I can't think of the right word. I had to wait ages to be rescued. It had happened about 5:20, or no, it might have been about 6:20, I think, because weighing starts at 6:30. So I think it was about 6:15, and it was only around the corner from Swimming World, so I was nearly there. And I wasn't rescued until 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we were still trying to wait for a taxi to take me home. But eventually the rescue man said he was going to take me home and then my insurance company did eventually confess that they couldn't get a taxi because it was such a short distance that it wouldn't be worth their fares anyway. So I got taken home by the rescue man, and then I eventually got a hire car from my insurance, and I had the hire car for like nearly 6 weeks. It was after my birthday anyway, and my birthday is the 15th of June. So anyway, I've had notification that my claim is closed as a fault, which it was my fault, and they've told me the value. So the value of my claim is over £6,500. So I think I'm going to be facing an increase in my insurance. It's not yet though, it's not till next February, but that's something to look forward to, isn't it? But yes, I have got my car back. Nothing was harmed. I wasn't injured or anything. I was looked after really well by the couple in the house. They didn't choose to claim anything for damage. There was no damage because the wall was so strong, it was just scuffed. The damage was all to my car's front driver's wheel. Anyway, that's my little tale of today. Haven't quite got over £6,500 yet, but there we are. So that's your walk through the rainy woods today, and I'll catch you later for an evening meal. So it's 22:07 and my tea is ready, but before I tell you what's on my plate, I just wanted to say as well that it's often not until I've actually served something up and I'm sat down sort of ready to eat it that I feel hungry. Like I said, if I came home and this wasn't made, I would probably just sort of chill out for a bit and then pick out something to snack on. But regardless, I will enjoy this and be grateful to my husband. So what I've got is 2 of the katsu chicken tenders. They have breadcrumbs on and they are really, really nice. They've got a tingly tongue to them. Then I've got some McCain oven chips. I think it's about 80 grams. And then some Asda rainbow salad with some added tomatoes. And then I've put 15 grams of this creamy burger mayo. Now you might be saying, that doesn't go, but I just really, really want to try it. And I don't fancy tomato sauce. So I'm going to try this. And this is almost 500 calories. Oh, with my Vimto Dilute Orange in the lounge as well. Good evening. It is 8:20. I did get this out of the freezer a while ago, but my sister just rang. So I hope it's not too melted, but I like them a bit melted anyway. I'm going to have a Asda white chocolate coated ice cream. So basically a white chocolate magnum, which is 220 calories. I'm watching something called Departure on Netflix. I'm sure I've seen this first series somewhere before, but I'm enjoying watching it again, and I don't know if I ever watched the series. There's 2 more series after this, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to go and enjoy this because it's probably just at the right time after it's been out over 15 minutes. Check in later. Good evening. It is 9:10. Got a bit carried away with looking at something on one of our games. Yeah, I feel a bit tired again today. I spoke to my sister for a bit. She is almost at her target, so I think she said she's lost 13 kilo, because they do everything in kilos, don't they? When you're under the doctor. Anyway, hopefully someone will know how much that is. I think it's 2 to 3 stone she's lost. But she only wants to lose like £2 or £3 more. So yeah, she's really pleased that it's going pretty well for me. I never ate the last of that protein yogurt, but I'm not going to argue about the calories. I'll eat it sometime and it'll all balance out. So I end the day on 16,000 calories and 8,400 steps. So that's good. I think it's going to be a rainy, wet week all week. So we're going to have to try something to keep the steps up somewhere between the 8 and 10k target. Tomorrow is weigh day, and that will also be the last daily vlog for a few days. So what I'm going to do is I'll do a daily vlog tomorrow, and then I'm going to do a few days together where I just film my meals and see how that goes, and then and like tell the calories and a calorie roundup at the end of the day. I'm going to do some recipes at the weekend. I've got a Tom Kerridge book that I've had for ages. When he lost a lot of weight, he did a diet book. And I've also, it was either an air fryer magazine or a healthy air fryer magazine. And I've seen a few recipes in there that I'd like to try. There was granola, sweet potato falafels, and then from the Tom Kerridge book is tomato soup and something else. Giving all my secrets away here. Crunchy nut and seed granola, bacon and broccoli frittata, sweet potato falafel, ham and courgette tortilla, tomato soup. Don't know what that one is. I've taken and apricot loaf. Healthy food for weight loss. That one was from the apricot loaf. 20-minute air fryer meals, but they do have did they have the calories as well? No. But anyway, so those are what I'm thinking of making. If you've got any, do you know any good magazines that do healthy recipes? Perhaps mentioning the calories as well. Although I still, just to give us an idea, and then I'll either make it my own, and I'll still put it all through NutriCheck and work out the calories for myself. And if we change something here or there, it will go through. But if you know of any good magazines that have good recipes in, and if they state the calories as well, that's a bonus. I've got the Readly app, if anyone knows of anything on there. Anyway, so yeah, let's see what tomorrow brings on the scales. I've got the nervous butterfly feeling. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.